which is causing a lot of political tension in a very beautiful, enduring way.
They might not get the words right, but they will understand.
Me being someone who doesn't speak Hindi fluently, it felt like I also felt included.
Crazy lingo that this woman had to recite. Right?
Yeah.
Husband going, gone. I chill out.
Hindi speaking people will resonate with this. Even Tamil speaking people, South Indians will resonate with this equally.
The sound of rain needs no translation.
You can always bond over a bar of dairy milk.
What's happening, people? My name is Tanesh,
And I'm Mira.
and welcome to another episode of the MT podcast. And in today's video, what do we have?
We have one of the latest Dairy Milk's ad.
Okay.
It's called New Neighbor.
New neighbor.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the ad we have for today. And I'm excited.
Same.
She's excited. Let's dive right into it.
अरे सुनो इनसे मिलो मिसेज अय्यर चेन्नई से कॉलोनी में नहीं आई बैठो नमस्ते बैठिए ना नमस्ते कैसी हैं चेन्नई से मेरे जेठ जी भी ना चेन्नई में रहते हैं
Wait a second. I need to start this again. I need to watch this again. Wait a second.
अरे सुनो इनसे मिलो मिसेज अय्यर चेन्नई से कॉलोनी में नहीं आई है बैठो नमस्ते बैठिए ना नमस्ते कैसी हैं चेन्नई से मेरे जेठ जी भी ना चेन्नई में रहते हैं पिछले महीने तो गए हैं हाँ सामू है ना चेन्नई में ही तो है
Crazy gossip.
Yeah, they're just chopping away.
I swear.
Yeah.
You know, I loved how they established the plot, you know, in the first, 18 seconds?
Yeah.
Crazy gossip. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, that woman just literally told that, you know, my husband is also something is also in Chennai. So, I mean, the middle ground that they're striking is next level.
Correct.
Okay.
नमस्ते बैठिए ना नमस्ते कैसी हैं चेन्नई से मेरे जेठ जी भी ना चेन्नई में रहते हैं पिछले महीने तो गए हैं हाँ सामू है ना चेन्नई में ही तो है
Sorry, my Hindi थोड़ा
हिंदी नहीं आती इसको
हाँ वो सब ठीक है विमला
को अरे बताती हूँ बहुत मजे की तुझे क्या ही बताऊँ पता है हस्बैंड क्या बोले क्या
I think she's now feeling left out, right?
Yeah, clearly, yeah. Her face gives it away.
Look at this expression. Kind of very clear, but yeah.
बहुत मजे की तुझे क्या ही बताऊँ पता है हस्बैंड क्या बोले क्या बोलना on holiday my husband romancing buying chocolate husband sitting on scooter
Okay, this is funny. Okay, she managed to say romancing, but she couldn't say scooter.
Clearly.
This is just me nitpicking.
It's Bollywood's
Yes.
magic.
But, I mean, I don't know the logic. Romancing is definitely a very hard syllable, vocabulary, whatever. Scooter, bro, you see it every day on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's okay. This is just me being nitpicky.
Clearly got her priorities right. Please, let's more.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was good. Okay.
buying chocolate husband sitting on scooter I'm not sitting husband going gone I chill out husband then he back scares सॉरी हाँ माई इंग्लिश थोड़ा
but very sweet.
Oh.
Damn nice.
good fly
So cute.
कैडबरी डेयरी मिल्क कुछ अच्छा हो जाए कुछ मीठा हो जाए
Nice.
Very wholesome, very wholesome.
You liked it?
Yeah, I could resonate with it so much.
Yeah, I can see your face all lit up. I think it's sort of from a very emotional angle. It just got us all gripping, right?
True.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Let's dive in.
Sure. Let's go for it.
Lovely. So, what do you think? What insight was this ad built on?
I think the insight here is that no matter how different people are, right, they will always find a way to interact, to connect, right, to bond over something. Here in this ad, they didn't speak the same language, but they chose to, listen to the language of the heart, put their differences aside, and see what is common among them, right?
Alright.
Yeah, and that is how they know they can bond over something common.
Alright.
Here, the first thread of commonality was the love for gossip. Because like you said, clearly, they established in the first 18 seconds how much they wanted to hear what their friend has to say.
Yeah.
Right? That really brought them together, regardless of what language they speak. Second commonality was the fact that they know they can all manage to speak broken English.
Okay.
They know they're going to embarrass themselves by doing it, but they still wanted to go for it.
Okay.
Because that is how much they wanted to make the new member feel included, belonging, that sense of belonging. And the last but not the least aspect of, or the thread of commonality is sweetness itself, right?
Okay.
And sweetness has no language. Everyone wants to have a piece of sweet. So, and I feel that is what Cadbury was trying to say strongly, right? No matter how different you are, you could come from diverse backgrounds, but you can always bond over a bar of dairy milk. It has the power to bring people together.
Right.
So that is what I think the insight is about. But from strictly speaking from the brand's POV, I feel like they wanted to contribute to the whole discussion of 3-language policy.
Oh.
Yeah, they wanted to tap into it, but without
The ongoing hype about all that stuff, is it?
Correct. They wanted to talk about it, but without sounding controversial. So I'm assuming, the kind of brief that they sent out to the agency would have been, we want to touch upon it, but make it so wholesome, so heartwarming that they will never tie it back to something controversial or triggering at all.
Right.
So I loved how they tackled something which is causing a lot of political tension in a very beautiful, enduring way. I love that about the ad. I love Cadbury more for that.
Right.
And they also didn't try so hard to get it politically right.
Exactly.
Right? They didn't want to sound politically correct.
Right.
Neither did they want to take a stance of their own.
Right.
Like Hindi speaking people will resonate with this. Even Tamil speaking people, South Indians will resonate with this equally. Right? That is how they found the common ground.
Right.
By making both the parties happy.
Makes sense. I also think, sometimes when people from different cultures, when you put them in a room, right, there's always a little magic happening, right?
True.
In terms of how they communicate with each other. And I feel like this is the most interesting thing. I feel like they might not get the words right, but they will understand.
True.
They'll understand the point that the other person is trying to convey.
Yeah.
Right. So I also feel, that moment will be super wholesome as well.
Yeah.
Right.
They've captured it so well here, right?
Yeah. When both sides have humanity,
True.
that is when the communication gets even better. Right. So
True.
That's interesting. That's actually kind of an interesting way to look at it.
What do you think of design? How was it executed?
So from a design point of view, honestly, I wouldn't call it like a campaign that was how do you say, visually stimulating or things like that. I just loved the concept and how it came through. It was an interesting campaign, but from a edit standpoint, from a audio standpoint, or be it execution standpoint, I kind of find it like, this was like a very homely campaign. It's like they just figured out that this is like the ongoing stuff. This is what we need to do. But yeah, one thing that I really liked was like the establishment of characters.
Yeah.
Right?
That is what shone through this.
Exactly. The expression, the faces, definitely, they've done quite a good job. I mean, consciously or unconsciously, we do tend to pick up on all these aspects, right?
Correct. I think even the setting they chose, which was very casual. They're all sitting down to just gossip. And you see all the women who are cast, they're also very homely looking people who are just finding some me time and some time to connect also, right? So I love the simplicity of the setting.
Yeah, the setup, the expressions of the characters, and then obviously they must have sat and they must have written this crazy lingo that this woman had to recite. Right?
Yeah.
coming, going,
Yeah.
scooter and all. So,
Yeah.
that's job well done. Was it emotionally stirring? 100%.
True. I agree.
So yeah, things like that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for me from the design aspect. What do you think? What emotions was it? I mean, this was full of emotions.
Yeah.
Emotions. Yeah. Tsunami of emotions.
I think I would have uttered wholesome like some 10 times now. So for me, it was wholesomeness, how heartwarming it was, and the sense of belonging, right? Like they wanted so badly to make the new woman feel included, for her to feel belong to this group. So I like that sense of connection, the sense of belonging they were trying to establish through dairy milk, through mithai, and that kind of aspect. That was lovely. What was the emotion that you felt?
For me, I mean, I would definitely go with something like warmth is what I like.
Yeah, true.
Making someone not feel alienated or making someone feel included, regardless of whether you all share the same language or not. That's like an effort that you put. Even the other person, even if he doesn't understand Hindi or she doesn't understand Hindi, they can sense the effort that is being put, right? Like to make that person included. So warmth, definitely.
Yeah. Is it a work of art?
Is it a work of art? For me, quite frankly, I wouldn't call this a work of art or anything as such. It's a good campaign. Okay, don't take me wrong. It's a good campaign, and it was a concept well executed, in my opinion. I didn't find it creatively stimulating, or it didn't tickle my intellect, and I could be completely biased. All right, we just have certain preferences and taste, right? So that POV per se, I sort of felt it's like a good campaign, but I wouldn't call it a work of art. Like, yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, for me, it was personally a work of art.
Okay.
Because I was giggling and smiling and blushing through the ad. And I've watched it like few times before this. But I still found it very, very warm and really beautiful. Right. And for me, anything that evokes strong emotions in a person is a form of art, is considered art. By in itself. So, and like you said, the expressions was what stole the show. So all the nuanced expressions, like I said, how one woman wasn't too willing to make the new woman feel included already.
Yeah.
She was little resistant, but they quickly overcame that resistance as well. So all the nuances were captured solely through their expressions, right? And even their body language, all the actions, because what language couldn't do, where language fell flat, they were trying to make up with the actions, like scooter and going, coming. All of that nuances were so beautifully captured, because it resonated so much with me emotionally. And me being someone who doesn't speak Hindi fluently, it felt like I also felt included, like that woman in the ad.
Exactly.
So it touched me personally.
Yeah, that's a valid point of view, man. I mean, obviously, that is where fresh opinions come to surface, right? Like,
correct.
How an ad makes you feel and how an ad makes me feel, it's two completely different.
Subjective, yeah.
But yeah, recalling what this ad brought to the table, I was able to recall a quote that I read actually. It's a very interesting quote actually. You know what it is?
Tell me.
It says, "The sound of rain needs no translation. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a Japanese Zen quote, and the core idea being, like you said, like what you pointed out in the insight, right? Which is the language of hearts needs no translation. When there's
Correct.
humanity involved, right? People will connect.
Correct. Absolutely.
If you have any kind of bad intention, I think your gut instinct will always tell you, this person doesn't seem like the right person, or they seem like a bully or anything like that. But when you genuinely want to just communicate and connect with people, I think all doors gets open.
Yeah.
Provided that everybody are on the same page.
True.
That was quite an interesting thing that I came across, and yeah, that was quite interesting. Yes.
Let's rate it.
Okay. For me, this ad is out of 10. I will give it a 4.5.
Oh.
Yeah, not because the ad was bad or the concept was bad. It just doesn't sit well with my style. This is a completely subjective rating thing. So I look forward to something that it just slaps me with something like what it makes me go like what, like that. For me, this was like a very homely show, like a very good stuff, and it obviously had a lot of good things going on. But yeah, 4.5. Okay, if I be a little bit more generous, 5.
Okay.
Yeah, what about you?
I would give it a 7.
7.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Personally, I felt connected to the ad.
Okay.
And I feel like, of course, they were not too good with maybe the edit, or there was nothing awesome about it. I was not in awe of the ad, of course, but it perfectly connected with the intended TG, right? So for me, that did the trick.
Yeah.
So
I think let's say if you're sitting in a theater and this ad sort of shows up, people will feel very comfortable. People will be like, wow, what a beautiful ad.
Yeah.
Especially if that movie is in a very different language.
Correct.
And there is subtitles and people have still paid money.
Correct.
They would feel like, oh, this is a very interesting ad, like that.
Correct.
But yeah, 5.
Very relevant.
5 from me, 7 from you. That's for Cadbury's new Neighbour from our end, and this was our breakdown. We had a lot of fun doing it.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that should call it for a wrap, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. This was fun.